y'all, howdy, welcome to One for the Books. I'm Sandy Broadwell, and today we're going to do the If I Owned a Bookstore tag. Now, the original creator is Robert G., reader of books, so I will have his original video linked down below. But the point of this series of questions is just to let us all dream the bookish dream that every reader has, which is owning your own bookstore. Okay, look, I get it. I know that it's not as romantic or as lovely as we all would like to think that it is, but this tag is for dreams. So ignoring all the realities of like money and things like that, I'm going to answer the 9 questions. I would love to hear your answers about your fictional future bookstore in the comments below. So I'm actually going to answer these out of order. I'm just going to answer question number 9 as question number 1. And that is, what is the name of your bookstore? And the reason I'm answering this question first is because I have two. I have 2 different, like, in my brain bookstores that I've been thinking about for years. And so the first one is called the Book Garden and is more of what you would think of as a traditional bookstore. And the second one is called the Multiverse Book Bus. Okay, so the official question number 1, then diving into the rest, or what are the hours of operation? For the Book Garden, I mean, ideally it would be open like 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. I love going to a bookstore and just like being able to go whenever and knowing that it's going to be open. I think realistically, the hours would probably have to adjust based on when we see customers and what it's worth paying employees to be there all the time. But yeah, I love the idea of having a bookstore that's accessible all the time. But that's more of a big bookstore, big box store sort of feeling. As for the Multiverse Book Bus, that one would not have set hours. The purpose of the book bus is that it would be kind of a pop-up events sort of bookstore. And so it might be parked outside of your favorite coffee shop one day. It might be at a festival one day. So that would be kind of all over the place. It would be like a lot of Instagram advertising, and it would be, you know, based on people booking us to come to events and also us reaching out to find places to park. So question number 2 is there ambient music? And if so, what kind? And so yes, probably like more ambient, lo-fi sort of thing that gives just enough vibes that it doesn't feel like awkward or quiet in the store, but not loud enough to like interrupt or disrupt any reading or conversation. Question number 3 is there a coffee bar or do you serve alcohol? For the Book Garden, yes, absolutely. I would love not to have a coffee shop, but to have just a carafe of fresh coffee that's brewed every few hours, and patrons can come by, and we have like a little kitchen set up where there's lots of different like eclectic coffee mugs, and people can just come and like fill up a cup of coffee. It's nothing special. It's just hot coffee, maybe with some creamer in the fridge. And when people are done, they can put their coffee mugs in the dishwasher and leave a little donation, hopefully, to help pay for the coffee. But it's not a profit venture. It is a come enjoy, rest, and pay what you can sort of model. Also, of course, with like bags of tea and like some chai mix and things like that, just like a whole little cute setup that makes it feel a little bit more like you're at a friend's house than at a bookstore. And then for the Book Garden as well, I would love to get like event-based alcohol licenses, like if there was like a author event going on, or if someone wanted to have a personal event at the store and wanted to have alcohol, I would love to be able to provide that as an option, but that definitely wouldn't be an all the time thing. For the Multiverse Book Bus, I would definitely not bother with any sort of liquids happening. Ideally, you know, we would be like partnering with other local businesses, partnering to set up outside of a coffee shop or at a festival where there's already beer tents and things going on, and so people can get their beverages elsewhere. Question number 4 is, are patrons encouraged to linger? Are there comfortable chairs? What kind of lighting? Are there tables? Are there areas for group gatherings? So that's a lot. For the Book Garden, yes. The reason I would call this place the Book Garden is because it's all about the backyard. And in my, of course, like utopian dream of what this bookstore would be like, it would have a big backyard with like a brick wall, like enclosing it all, like a fence. And it has absolute like secret garden vibes. Like you go out there, there's all these like adorable nooks and crannies like created by these like native plants that are growing. There's different tables, there's hammock chairs, and every place that you can sit down feels like your own private little space with enough room for a couple of friends. Additionally, I would want like a big patio within a big like event tent or something cool, like permanent pavilion type structure maybe, where we could do more of those like author events or private parties or book clubs and things like that. So that would be my ideal scenario. For the Multiverse Book Bus, I think it depends on the type of event that we were invited to. If we're at a festival, then we probably won't be providing places for people to sit down because that's not going to be the vibe. People aren't going to want to like sit down and read. They're just maybe going to come in and like shop a little bit and buy something and then leave. However, if we have permission to like set up outside of a coffee shop all day long, then I love the idea of like having like a roll of turf grass and some like comfy lawn chairs that we could pop out the back of the van and have like a whole parking space taken up as like a little mini pop-up sit-down patio area where people could basically like extending the outdoor seating of the coffee shop or other store and just providing like a cute little outdoor space. But in general, no, the Multiverse Book Bus won't have a ton of seating available. Question number 5 is there live entertainment such as poetry readings, authors readings, lectures, and literature? For the book garden, absolutely yes, as many as possible. I would love to have a bookstore where we create a community around books, not just about buying and selling, but like letting people have their book clubs there. Or, if people wanted to host like a bookish themed bridal shower or something like that. Like I love the idea of a bookstore being a real community space. And I love supporting authors and doing book tour type events and readings and all sorts of things like that. We could have like bookish game nights and trivia and all kinds of stuff. So yes, as many times as possible. And then of course for the book bus, we'll be showing up at other people's events. So like I doubt the book bus would be hosting its own events just because like the space, it's a bus. Question number 6 is, where is your bookstore located? Is it in the busy heart of a large city, in a neighborhood of a large city, in a suburban strip mall, in a small town, a rural area? So for the book garden, absolutely in a neighborhood of a city. A walkable, bikeable neighborhood that feels like you're going over to someone's house. So densely populated, but cozy, and not necessarily on like the main street, but in a neighborhood that you could easily bike or walk to from the downtown area would be awesome. For the Multiverse Book Bus, of course, the location would change all the time. We will be where the people are. Parks, festivals, parking spots outside of popular destinations, that sort of thing. Question number 7 is, how does your bookstore look from the outside? Sleek and modern, dark and brooding. And for the book garden, it definitely is going to be like an old house. Like, not like it looks like an old house, but it actually is an old house. That's what I just really want. Like I already mentioned the kitchen where you can like make your own drinks. I really like the idea of having like old houses like don't have a very like open format, and there's just like lots of little rooms. And I love the idea of having like you're wandering through someone's house, but each room of the house is like a different genre of books. One bedroom is this genre and one bedroom's this genre, and like maybe the hallway is like, there's like the kids section in the basement or the attic or something. I don't know. Yeah, I just think that would be super duper cool. As far as the Multiverse Book Bus, I'm actually not thinking of a bus just because I think the logistics of moving and parking a bus would actually be probably more difficult than it's worth. And so I'm thinking more of like a small box truck, like a small moving truck basically, because those are nice and tall and you can stand up in them and they can store a lot of stuff, but they're also like small enough that they could easily be driven and parked in a lot of different places. Think of like a small U-Haul maybe, and then of course like really modifying the inside of the truck so that it's cute and cozy and not industrial, and then the outside of the truck would just have some sort of like cute wrap all the way around so that it doesn't look like just an industrial box truck. And then the final question number 8, of course there were 9, but I started with number 9, was what's your specialty? Used books, new, only fiction, only nonfiction, etc. Does your bookstore specialize in a particular genre? So for both of these, I think new books would be the way to go. I personally, I love shopping at used bookstores, but I think if I was to own a bookstore, the idea of curating the collection and being able to provide that experience and being able to personally recommend a lot of the books is part of the appeal for me. So I would want to run a new bookstore for that reason, so that I could really cultivate a lot of minority authors or LGBTQ authors, or just go a little bit off of the mainstream, dive deeper into certain areas, and just be able to provide exactly the sort of books that I want to read or want to be able to find when I go into a bookstore. So the Book Garden would definitely be a generalist new books bookstore. As for the multiverse book bus, I think trying to do every genre in a bus, in a moving vehicle, would just only allow me to provide the top hits in every genre. The depth of selection wouldn't be very good. And so that's why I'm calling it the multiverse. Basically, the focus of the multiverse book bus would be speculative fiction. And so we would have fantasy, sci-fi, maybe some horror, YA, romantasy, and that's it. And I think that would be so much fun to curate. And I think we could do a lot of fun themed events and activities surrounding that. But that's the genres that I think my people like to read, and so being able to sell books specifically to my people would be really, really fun. And by my people, I mean nerds. So that's it. And then question number 10 is just tag some friends. So I will definitely be tagging some folks down in the description box. Please feel free to consider yourself tagged, and if you're not on BookTube, I would love to just hear your answers to some of these questions in the comments. So thanks so much for tuning in and hanging out with me a little bit today while I dreamed about the bookstores that I will never own. As always, please be kind, read books, and hit the subscribe button down below for more bookish content to come. I'll see you again soon.